Good evening, Madam President. I also rise in support of this bipartisan measure. I'd also like to thank the governor's office as well as all four caucuses and my colleagues in the Senate for working together to bring this relief to Connecticut families. This issue really started, I'm going to say 2 months ago. It was early January when we saw this inflation, which really started last year, well before the issues that are now present in Ukraine that have been brought about by Vladimir Putin. We were experiencing inflation, but it has now reached a historic 40-year high. And in response to that, Senate Republicans came out with an initiative to give the families of the state of Connecticut a sales tax holiday. We wanted to reduce sales tax from 6.35 down to 5.99, a $300 million assistance to Connecticut families. That's what we were looking for, and that is something that's out there. Where we were getting it was from the sales tax revenue that resulted from the high inflation that was not factored into the budget that was adopted last spring. A balanced budget, I might add, that to this day remains balanced. But we have received, as of the last consensus revenue numbers, over $500 million in surplus windfall revenue from the sales tax. And so rather than keep that at the state level, where we are awash with money, we felt it better to let that money stay in Connecticut's families' wallet, who are experiencing this pinch because of the inflation rate that's so high. The kitchen table economics of Connecticut families are struggling. Many folks at the lower end of the K-shaped recovery are living hand to mouth. And so this is a way to give them relief today, to have them feel something, particularly when we know the state of Connecticut is actually in surplus. We're in the black. We're flush. So it's not fair to those families struggling. So that's why we came forward with that. And then 2 weeks ago, we added, because there was an extra $200 million in this windfall revenue due to the sales tax, we saw the rise in gas prices and immediately looked at bringing a 25% reduction to the gas tax. That was something that we looked at, and thankful for Connecticut families, the governor reached out and we started dialogue, and we are here today because of that. Now, I'm honored to work in this circle and to be elected by the citizens in my neighborhood and district to represent them. And when we all are elected, we envision a Connecticut to make our state a better place. And I envision a Connecticut that works for the people of Connecticut, the people back in our districts, in our neighborhood. Because when I pump gas or get a cup of coffee, they're always telling me what's going on. And the fact is, this morning, I found it disheartening, and you heard Senator Austin speak about it earlier, that we had farmers had to come up to the Capitol and basically bring their plight about how hard it is to make ends meet and what this highway truck tax is going to cost goods and services across the state of Connecticut, and what that means. It means higher products, higher food. The cost of goods and services are going to increase because the cost of delivering those goods and services are going to increase with a $90 million tax on the transportation of those goods and services. So when you looked at it, I was very disappointed because in my mind, if the government is working for the people should be confident and peaceful, knowing that they don't have to be vigilant and ever present to be here in Hartford to keep their government in check, that their government should just work for them and should be doing what is good for them from the beginning. In this case, the farmers had to come up to ask for help because last June, I believe it was, this highway use tax was just passed. That was after we adopted the budget that was balanced, that remains balanced to this day. So you had a balanced budget then. You have a balanced budget today. We have excess revenue coming in, so we're in surplus. So why do we need the highway use tax? We don't need that. Didn't need it then, don't need it now. But yet it's there. And it's going to increase the cost of goods and services in the state of Connecticut. It's why Connecticut is unaffordable. And that's going to go into effect in January. These decisions are why Connecticut is an unaffordable state. It's also these decisions as to why we're the second most taxed citizenry in the nation. These just didn't happen because Putin appeared on the world stage. These have been, as Senator Fazio said, long in the making. It's unfortunate they're not quick in the repeal. That's what Connecticut citizens are asking for. That's what we hear when I go back to Stratford or Shelton or Monroe or Seymour and walk into a Stop and Shop, a Big Y, go to a gas station, a Dunkin' Donuts, wherever I go. What I hear from people who see me, they're like, we need help. We need a Connecticut that works for us. I want to stay in Connecticut and raise my family, be with my grandkids, and retire in our state. But every day we foist additional financial burdens on people, it becomes more difficult. So today is that day when we start to move in a different direction. I want to be optimistic here. This is a start, and a thankful start. It's a beginning, but by no means do I think it's an end. Is 1 week of a sales tax holiday good? Certainly. It's better than no week of a sales tax holiday. But it's a $5 million buy, and I believe we still have $295 more million of holiday. As to the gas tax, once again, that's something that people are feeling right now. And I know Senator Blumenthal last week or 2 weeks ago also called for this from a federal perspective. I would like to see Washington join Connecticut and bring another 19 cents for Connecticut families. The more the merrier. The better we get, the better it is. And as Senator Duff pointed out, there's also the free bus rides for Connecticut's working families. Wherever we can help families get to and from work, certainly we want to do that. As I mentioned, the folks at the lower end of the K-shaped recovery are the ones that are being hit the hardest. And we saw that in the tax report that says they pay a disproportionate share of their income to taxation. And that is something that needs to be addressed also. So there is something here for everyone, and something I'm always thankful for. But I certainly believe we can do better. We must do better. The people of Connecticut are counting on us to do better. And for that reason, Madam President, I support this, and I'm thankful that we have gotten this bill to where we are today.